So what's up? Cries back again. So this video, we want to talk about what we hope you as a listener gets from the EP, the Daydreamer EP. Um, you know, this one is definitely theme based, and uh, if we go all the way back to 12 months ago, our very first Zoom meeting, it's very interesting because some of the things that we talked about during that meeting ended up coming to fruition without us even realizing that it was something that had a potential to materialize. And so, I kind of want to talk about a couple of those things. Some of the bands that really inspired us to try to write a narrative, uh, whether it's about a song or about a whole, record. And so, I think the first one for all of us, without a doubt, is Ludo. So Ludo, way back in the day with Broken Bride, was so instrumental. But even after that, with just how they are able to craft like the narrative of a song and tell this story that's so intriguing. Um, it's incredible. I mean, it's
Yeah,
seriously a skill.
Broken Bride is, I think that holds up, man. That's one of the best things that's ever been written. So anybody
Seriously
wants
love
to
it.
look it up,
Seriously love it.
YouTube, Ludo, Broken Bride, best 25 minutes, I think, of your life, half hour, less than half hour. Um, Man, it's good.
It's so good. And so that's a big piece of it. In that period afterwards, it's probably a little bit more in genre specific to what we're creating musically. Ice Nine Kills and their themes, like the first of all about books and horror books, and then about horror movies. Like Ice Nine Kills, if you haven't listened to them, and I don't know how you haven't, you should, and you should listen to everything they do and follow them because they
They're
are
very
able
good
to.
at telling a story.
Jeez. But but here's the thing that stood out to me about the stories they told. It wasn't just lyrically compelling, even though it is, it was musically compelling
Hmm.
in terms of like the samples they would use and how they would write specific songs. So like when they have a Friday the 13th song, it makes you feel like you're listening to camp counselors in Friday the 13th. So like,
It's more almost like a rock opera kind of thing. Very, very Ludo,
yeah,
they're telling the whole band, everything, every part of it is contributing to the narrative, to the story. Yeah.
and so I remember very early on that very first Zoom meeting. It was Matt Boyd saying something along the lines of like we should do something that's in the vein of uh, it was in the vein of Ice Nine Kills.
That
Now,
boy again,
I
man. He's
bel
the visionary, man.
he
He's the
is.
visionary.
I believe that Matt, the original idea was a theme around 80s. Okay. And it wasn't that night that was discussed, but it developed to that. Um, and some of that actually shows up in Wall Cross Lovers, which we'll talk about in another video. But eventually, I think we came to this realization that it'd be just too difficult to maintain this 80s theme throughout. And so we kind of scrapped that idea and we tabled the idea of any sort of theme based stuff. Um, and you and I writing the music, guitars, drums, and all that. We, I, me personally, I wasn't even thinking about lyrics. We were just trying to write songs that we liked, um, songs that we could listen to and not get bored of, and would feel engaged with. And I remember that being a big thing that you and I talked about was do we like it? Because if we don't like it, just scrap it.
Primary to our writing this go
Yeah.
around is not try to sound like anybody or anything. Just like, what do we like? Let's write songs that we're happy with and that we're proud of, that we like. So
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that we talked about through that was hopefully that will translate to listeners. Like they'll feel the same way or in a similar way, hopefully, to how we feel when we hear the music. So anyway, all the music was written, and then at some point, I remember you sending me a text or a polo or a video about the Atloff Pass.
hmm,
I had never heard the Atloff Pass, and the song that became Dyatlov
crazy,
Passenger.
crazy
It is
story.
just a bizarre story.
Yeah,
Um,
we're going to talk about it too whenever we
well,
get into these songs, talking about these songs. So stay tuned.
yeah,
It's
and
super crazy.
so it is. It's just, yeah. Anyway, I looked it up. You'd said, "Hey, I think this would kind of work with this song. It's kind of like it. It's telling a story." And I could see the whole narrative play out as I was reading the story. I was like, "Holy cow!" Like I see. I don't have lyrics for this, but I see where it's going, and I'm excited about it. And then I looked up like I started thinking in my head, what are some of the other weird stories that I know? And I picked out a couple. And then we did some exploring of other things. I was like, yeah, that one, I know that story. And you like this story. And before we knew it, we had this theme.
It
And it's,
turns out there's a lot of really weird, interesting stories out there, right?
there are. And some of them are still unsolved. Some of them are solved, but they're just tragic. Some of them are just weird. Um,
Mysteries.
yeah. And what's oddly personal about all of this, you know, we talked privately about this, that a lot of those early songs lyrically, first of all, I wrote pretty much all those lyrics, and they were all about like me and relationships mostly. Of
You
course,
were
as a
listening to a lot of Dashboard back in
yeah,
the day.
yes, yeah, a lot of dashboard, and geez. Anyway, you know, as much as those were personal to my personal private life, I feel like these songs are so much more really personal because they give you an insight into like the who that you and I probably are. Like these are the things we'd be talking about with friends. So it's it's not about a girl, but it's about like the things that like if we were sitting around at Steak and Shake at like 2 a.m. We'd be talking about, dude, have you ever heard about the LF Pass? And you'd be like, what's the LF Pass? And we start talking about it, and I tell you what happened, and you're like, yeah, but seriously, there's no way that it was a Yeti. And how can you prove it? They lost their eyes, and we get into this like back and forth
It's the
because
only option.
we had those sorts of discussions at Applebee's and at Steak and Shake at the wee hours of the morning. And that's just so. What did Cries Hannah talk about in their spare time? It wasn't much about music.
Campers getting mauled by Yetis.
Yes, it was about like weird, crazy things, and that's just so us, and that's what makes this so cool. Is it feels like we're sharing a little bit of like these mysteries that we are intrigued by and that we're interested in. We probably even have some like uh, theories about, and we get to share them. And admittedly, okay, some of them are pretty tragic. Like uh, the horror you imagine, like that's about the Limp family, and we don't take that lightly. That we're talking about these real things that happen. They're serious things, and these are real people that have experienced these things. And at the same time, um, they're stories that you should know that a lot of people probably don't know. And I want, what I want a listener to get from the music, I want them to be moved to a point where they can kind of feel it, they can feel the energy, and they sort of feel, if they can feel for a moment how I felt listening to Ludo's Broken Bride, then I think we've accomplished something,
Mm.
because I know as a listener, when I listened to Broken Bride, it took me, dude, I was strapped in, I was locked in. I remember my eyes being wide, and I
Right,
just
right.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah, man.
Those lyrics on Broken Bride are in my it's there's something that my wife and I share, and there's like this the night we got married, there's a star thing that you could purchase. I'm sure if anybody who's on Facebook can see those things where like the stars, the scatter plot of the stars on the night on a specific night in a specific geographical location, and then you could put like writing like lyrics or whatever. And so the lyrics to one of those songs from Broken Bride is there like in my bedroom. Like I see it every day. Like it meant that much to me. And I'm
Mm.
not saying, I'm not foolish enough to think that any one of these songs is necessarily going to be that they're, but I just want to be able to share a little bit of the passion that an album like Broken Bride gave me. And this is I think our best way to do that is to share these weird stories, um, and writing fun music that I don't know, we think it's kind of fun. And so we hope that the listener is moved in a certain way. I hope that you Google this. You're like, who's Dear Bobby? Who's Bobby? Uh, what's he talking about? And you start looking into it, and you look up Bobby Dunbar, and you check it out, and you're like, I'm gonna watch that movie, and you're gonna form your own opinion, or just learn, And so like
Mm.
I think that's a big piece of it.
So then where are we headed? What's to come with all of this? What's next? What's on the docket for Cries?
So yeah, so um, what I would say is that this is definitely not a one and done sort of EP, and like we're like deuces. Hope you guys like it. See us again in about 15 years. God willing, and opportunities presented, it's something that will be ongoing for as long as we have fun doing it. And I will just say we already have all of the songs musically done for our next EP, Sleepwalker. Those are musically done. The lyrics or the vocals are essentially done for one of the songs. We wrapped those up yesterday. And so just a few more songs to get finished for that one, and then they'll be sent off for our, I've mixed these songs, so we'll finish mixing these songs, and we'll send them off for mastering. um,
So then,
so yeah,
um, so I guess anybody's not already aware, or whatever. So the theme or whatever, the mysterious, the unknown, it's we're doing the whole dual EP thing. So it's the Daydreamer and the Sleepwalker. So they're not two separate EPs. They are, but it's really kind of one thing.
yeah,
And so it's in many ways a continuation of the story from the Daydreamer to the Sleepwalker. So
yeah, and as excited. Look, I'm so excited to share with whoever wants to listen, the Daydreamer. But I'm really excited about Sleepwalker because there are some songs on Sleepwalker that I'm just like I'm pumped about. Um, and admittedly, we don't have vocals on some of those yet. And anyone that writes music or has created music, that like before you put those vocals on, they're kind of their own thing, and then they become a whole new thing when you put the vocals on. But not taking anything away from the Daydreamer, but I'm super excited about what's to come with Sleepwalker, and even beyond that. Um, we have ideas about recreating or um, this reimagining of Hopeless the Rider that's more in tune with, first of all, present day, but also where we're at musically. And there's other ideas. So I mean, we're having fun with it.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as we can continue to, we're friends, and as long as we can continue to write music like this at our own pace, um, you know, we're not interested in going on the road. We're not interested in anything that we were really interested in 03 other than just being friends, playing music, having fun, writing music we like, and sharing that with any of our friends who also like the music. Yeah, I'd say that's what's to come.
Yeah, no, and I know inevitably there's going to be talk about playing some of the like a show that has these songs or whatever, and um, it's just that's not in the plans. Is the best I can say that. Um, we want to be able to write and record the best music that we possibly can that captures our personality and shares who we are. And our hope is essentially just like that you see you see that, and we appreciate you just even listening, and we hope that it captures your attention in a way where you do some exploring, and maybe you're weird like we are. Maybe you're geeks when it comes to uh, these bizarre, mysterious stories, and like you just can't wait till the next Netflix show about this strange, mysterious thing happen, because that's who we are, and we like to make bouncy riffs. So I come for the breakdowns, stay for the hooks. That's how it is. So thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. When you see us next time, you'll actually probably see us talking about each song, and that's the other thing to come, I guess, is we're going to break down sort of the history of and why it's a song we wrote about with each one of these songs. So all six will kind of break down. Some of them they might be shorter videos, some of them might be longer. But yeah, we'll give you a bird's eye view and then dive a little deeper. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. We appreciate it. You guys stay safe and take care.
Take it